Hey guys, how's it going? A few things have happened since our last video. Predictably, GameStop has fallen a little bit, actually fallen kind of a lot, and there's been a little talk more about WallStreet Bets, as well as a little talk going around about a silver squeeze that maybe is happening, maybe isn't happening, but has certainly resulted in the silver market rising a little bit. Although today it seems to have lost some of those Monday gains, but is still certainly up a little bit. Okay, so let's get into it. So WallStreet Bets last week was rumored to have been pushing a silver short squeeze. In the last few days, they have vehemently argued against this, saying it is fake news. Whether it is actually fake news or not kind of remains to be seen. I did see some WallStreet Bets posts, both on Reddit and on Webull, that I don't know. I think that maybe there is just a split within WallStreet Bets on this issue. What I do know is that it does appear that a number of people have exited their positions on GameStop, or at least there's not as much movement as there is, and prices have dropped dramatically. Along with that, it appears that there's been a lot more movement into silver, and what I think has happened is a fair number of people from WallStreet Bets got onto silver, as well as a lot of people hearing about this potential silver short squeeze decided to jump on the bandwagon, and then you've got the other half of WallStreet Bets that wanted everybody to hold the line on GameStop, and that could potentially be because they are nursing some losses. And I know if I were them, I wouldn't want everybody getting out of GameStop and going into silver. I would want them all still putting more money into GameStop so that I could hopefully recover some of my losses. Not saying that's exactly what's happened, but that does seem just as likely a possibility to me as that it is fake news propagated by Wall Street. I'll let you decide what you think. But despite all of WallStreet Bets' best efforts, retail investors have jumped into silver, both buying paper silver and physical silver. In fact, this caused a physical silver shortage to a certain extent. Over the weekend, APMEX, one of the largest bullion dealers, put a halt on purchases, and several other bullion dealers followed suit. And what they said was they would not be selling any more silver until the market opened for silver Sunday evening. Part of the reason for this, I guess, is that the way bullion dealers work, they have some hedges, and they were worried that they could potentially lose money if they sold all this silver over the weekend. So Sunday evening, when the silver markets did open, the price shot up dramatically. In fact, it hit $30. It is, of course, down from that. Interestingly enough, paper silver, iShares silver fund, that saw some interesting activity too. We saw a little bit of activity Friday, but then Monday, pre-market open, it jumped way up. It was like, I think, hit $27 or $28 at one point, and is of course now back down around $24.80 as of the filming of this video. What will continue to happen with the silver market remains to be seen. I think that could very well continue on an upward trend. I think the biggest point here is that a silver short squeeze on the silver market would not happen anything like what happened with GameStop. The silver market is quite a bit larger and would take quite a bit more money to have such a heavy influence. It is not some get rich quick. It is certainly not going to see 100, 200, 300% gains over the next several days, weeks, or even months probably. Now, over the long term, you could see some decent gains. Regardless of whether the WallStreet Bets silver short squeeze is fake news, I do believe that these Wall Street bettors that have gone from GameStop into silver were smart to do that. I think in the long term, as long as they don't sell their shares, they will do well, rather than potentially losing a bunch of money in GameStop, as some of them inevitably did. So the question remains, since all this talk about silver and this movement into the silver market, regardless of the fact that prices have been a little volatile now in the last couple of days with the silver market because of this, is silver a good investment? Is this silver's time to shine? Well, that of course does remain to be seen, but there are a few things that could make silver a good investment for the long term. Silver has many industrial uses, including for solar, and has more industrial uses than gold. Although, of course, gold does have a much higher value than silver. But we'll get into that a little later. So beyond silver's value as a precious metal, what else is adding value to it? Well, silver has several industrial uses, including uses for solar panels. And with the global push for green renewable energy, it's expected that solar is going to see some big jumps over the coming years. And each solar panel uses approximately 20 grams of silver, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you add it up to each panel, well, that starts becoming an awful lot. Another thing that is helping push this increase in the use of solar panels is many markets are starting to actually require solar panels on new projects. In fact, people who live in California are probably familiar with that concept. Some other things that will impact the demand to silver along these lines is the fact that China is hoping to zero out its carbon emissions by 2060, and part of the way they hope to do that is through solar. And China, as you very well know, is a very large country with well over 1 billion people. That will significantly impact the global demand for solar. The current U.S. administration's climate goals are also going to push demand for solar as we require more things to be solarized throughout the U.S. Already, preliminary numbers are estimating that we're going to see a 30% increase in the demand for solar in the United States alone. Given the global increase in demand for solar, silver is likely to see a price bump, given the greatly increased demand for silver because of the increased production of solar panels, among silver's other industrial uses. Additionally, people who are going to see this benefit are going to begin jumping into the precious metals market, as we have already started seeing, and we will continue to see in times of economic uncertainty, like where we are right now. So whether or not it's due to Wall Street Bets, silver has obviously seen increased demand over the last several days. And I believe this demand will continue to increase over the coming months. So, whether or not the increase in silver is due to Wall Street Bets remains to be seen. However, there is clearly going to be an increase in the global demand for silver as a result of our global climate goals. And with that, silver will likely see increases in price over the coming years. So, with all of that said, silver probably won't make you rich, and it certainly won't make you rich quick. But over the coming years, if you stay in it, there is the potential for the price to rise, especially when you start looking at the gold to silver ratios. There's only about 8 times more silver than there is gold, yet with current pricing, gold is about 69 times more expensive than silver. So, do you think there's room for silver to increase in price? There are many that do. I will let you decide whether you think silver is a good investment. So guys, with that said, let me know what you think. Like the video if you liked it, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.